Sometimes everything goes according to plan. Sometimes they go horribly. Join us while we tell tales of games gone wrong. This is Curmudgeons and Dragons RPG Horror Stories.
Hello, adventurers. And hello, Josey and Jim.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Jason Portizo. This is Curmudgeons and Dragons. I am here joined by Ms. Josey Diaz.
Yes.
Mr. Jim Crocker.
I'm excited I get to read today.
Yeah, Jim brought us a story. It was his turn. You know the drill. We do stories from RPG Horror Stories on Reddit. And let you know what we think about them. So, Jim, what do you got for us?
So I've got one that is not necessarily, given some of the issues that we covered, people getting kicked in the balls and defecating in themselves at the table and stuff like that. This is
one time, Jim.
And we will never forget.
This doesn't rise quite to that level, but it has there. We can derive some good advice from it, so I feel like it's valuable in that regard. So this is called.
I love deriving, Jim.
Yes, derivation is the name of our game here. We're all talking about words that we have on the brain. So
simulacrum.
Simulacrum. So I'm I'm going to be performing a simulacrum of Jim. An ersatz version of myself, if you will.
Perfect.
So
yes.
This is called It Would Have Cost You Nothing to Keep That to Yourself, posted by Reddit user Cosmic Thief, which is a great name for a Reddit handle, by the way. So that's probably someone that got on early to get in a good name like that. But so this has the medium length tag, which I think is about right. This happened 8 years ago, give or take, but I remember the events fairly well, as I was enthralled by the game's setting, but I only recently thought of it like a horror story. And to be fair, it isn't horrific, but it just pisses me off to no end. Which is its own kind of horror story, yeah. So the game is a homebrew setting and system. We're playing in a post-apocalyptic Earth where magic and fantasy races emerged after the world's end. Simultaneously, the leftovers of the old world meant that the countries were quickly propelled into the state of the 17 to 1800s with steampunk vibes. In addition, some historical and mythical figures have been resurrected, including Queen Victoria, Rasputin, George Washington, King Arthur, Holger Danske, etc.
Jesus Christ. Could you imagine going to dinner with all these people?
It would be interesting, certainly.
I desperately want to hang out with Rasputin.
Dude, have another drink. Yeah.
You would.
Tell me more about having two dicks, my guy.
Eat all the cake and stuff like that. That's, yeah.
Also, if we're going to 1800s, is King Arthur from the 1800s?
No, he's from earlier than that. I wouldn't say
like way earlier, right?
Neither is George Washington. I guess George Washington is 1700s.
Person is very much from the 1700s.
Yeah, 1800s. Rasputin's not been born yet.
I guess, yeah. So
Rasputin has not been resurrected. He's been time traveled.
Everybody just okay. So that's not what the horror story is. I
disagree, sir.
Due to time travel shenanigans, our characters died, but our souls were given the chance to fix shit by being put into different people's bodies. It's got like a little bit of a quantum leap kind of vibe going on. It sounds like so. This part is important.
Little Assassin's Creed.
Yes, yeah, maybe a little of that. yes, yeah, we're in the. It's not
and
the Matrix. What the hell they call that? The Animus.
Little That's Wayne's World.
Yes, yeah.
Not Wayne's World. A little Bill and Ted. The other.
There you go. Yeah,
we're all in the Animus. Yeah. So this part is important. It was our souls, and SOULS is in bold there to indicate that we're supposed to understand. That's the important part. It was our souls with knowledge of what had happened, but we were these new people with their memories and everything. In effect, we were these new people. Of these new characters, two are important. One is an elvish demon hunter, and the other is a human myrmidon, as in Achilles' also resurrected warriors. Achilles, definitely not a 1800s character, so just putting that out there.
Now he is.
I mean, I guess. Whatever, drop him in. Do what you want. It's this League of Extraordinary Gentlemen type stuff, it sounds like. So to fix stuff, we've been traveling around, finding MacGuffins, and we figure out that one of them is held in the Vatican. We know from previous fluff that the papal guards are hardcore motherfuckers, super tanky knights with fire magic. We're thinking we need to be really clever about this. We strategize and consider multiple avenues of stealth, but seeing flaws in the plans. Sort of as a joke, someone, can't remember who, says, "Hey, Myrmidon, what would it take for all your brothers to join us in assaulting the Vatican as a distraction while we get the thing?" Whatever the MacGuffin is.
It's a hell of a distraction.
Yeah. Well, a joke becomes a plan, and we all get super invested in it. So we go to Greece first, call up the Myrmidons, and then sail for Rome. It's whatever. It's like it's right across the, it's right across the Aegean,
right there.
Aegean Sea there. So that's easy to get to. Yeah. So I won't go into the details, but battling the papal guards in St. Peter's Square with 30 Myrmidons by our side while 2 PCs sneak into the Vatican itself, easily a highlight and fond memory of that entire game. And I completely
that sounds awesome.
That sounds freaking amazing. Yeah. Do you know what that sounds like? A really cool Assassin's Creed mission, not to put too fine a point on it, where you get your gang to attack and then you sneak in through the roof or whatever.
I'm just picturing King Arthur and fucking Rasputin fighting the papal guards in St. Peter's Square, and I'm losing my entire fucking mind.
Yes, yeah. Standing back to back with, while, Arthur has Excalibur and is yelling, "For Avalon!" while Rasputin is just like chugging vodka and like getting shot to hell. That'd be amazing.
Are you recasting? Are you recasting Sidekicks, the Chuck Norris classic?
Maybe.
So
this sounds amazing, Jim. How could this possibly go wrong?
Easily a high point and fond memory of the entire game. That is until we're post-session and our GM smugly laughs and then reveals this gem. Demon hunters work for the Vatican. He could have just walked in and taken it. And he says it like we're supposed to know that.
Yeah, but that's dumb and not fun. And we wouldn't have had the beautiful battle scene with the papal guards in St. Peter's Square.
And we feel stupid. And we also laugh a little. But I recently remembered that little tidbit, and I cannot help but be super pissed off. There's absolutely no reason for him to say that, and he stained what was otherwise a super fun battle. There, that's it. No other horror than a blemished experience.
Yeah, it was
I would actually even argue whether the experience is blemished. Because you had this excellent battle, you did it better than he had planned, and I think it's kind of funny that he kind of went the long way around. I don't know. I don't think that would have ruined it for me.
It is annoying to be super excited about how well something went, just for your GM to be like, "Well, you could have solved this much easier." And it's like, "Well, we didn't, so fuck you.
Right.
Mind your business."
Yeah, well, we did it the fun way instead.
Demon hunters work for the Vatican. You clod.
Clods.
That feels like maybe like a tone of voice thing as well.
Maybe.
Yeah. Like if they're really nasty about it. But I will say this. If it were me, I wouldn't say shit about that. I would go, that was awesome. Holy cow, what an amazing session. See y'all next week.
As the title suggests.
Yeah.
It would have cost you nothing to just keep it to your fucking self.
I might actually take the step to tell my players wow, that was so much cooler than what I had planned.
Yeah, you don't have to
on
shit
them for it. Nothing wrong with that.
I think they appreciate that. Yeah.
There's nothing.
Wow, I saw this going. Yeah. I saw this going very differently, and I like your version.
Yeah.
I think they would appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no.
It's just sucks when somebody tries to piss in your pudding.
The story could have gone a lot worse, obviously, but it sounds like they had a great game. This is a very unique game, and it all's well that ends well, right?
So, credit to so here's the thing, the thing where you're cool about letting the players do what they want, as long as it doesn't, derail the game or go against any of your safety and consent tools or anything like that. The DM did that part right.
Yeah.
Let them do this crazy thing and go off and, whatever, bring Alexander the Great's army into, whatever, or not Alexander, but I guess it's what Achilles.
Yeah, love it.
Yes. Yeah. Whatever. Bring the Peloponnesian War to the steps of the Vatican. It's kind of awesome. But yeah, then just let it ride. let it be a cool thing they did.
I'm looking
and
through.
don't
looking through some of
be
the other
smug about
comments.
how they made it harder on themselves.
I'm
This is a
looking through some of the
very,
comments
okay.
here, and somebody that the OP responded to asked, did at any point previously in the campaign you learned that demon hunters work for the church? If not, it's a bullshit reveal for something your characters should have been clued in on before they stormed the Vatican. But if so, the blemish is on you. As a DM who has players completely discard mountains of valuable intel, he has every right to point out you guys made a big event out of a simple pickup. To which the OP responded, nope, like I said, we have our own characters whose soul was then dumped into these new characters' bodies and minds. This meant that we, as the players, got verbal cliff notes on the new characters' personalities, but almost none on the background except what formed the group. Our characters knew because they were these new characters, but we didn't know.
So we got reverse metagaming going on,
Yeah.
where we have in-game knowledge that the players don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is just like having no knowledge at all.
So from the DM side, I would maybe at certain points make them roll history checks or to see if they recall that information, or just straight up tell, like if the players or if the character already knows it, like, hey, you actually know that these guys work for these guys.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, like if it's not supposed to be like a puzzle or a challenge, don't present it like it's one. If somebody would know that you can just walk in and say, hey, can we borrow this to fight some demons? And, and the Pope would throw a few Hail Marys at you and say, go with God. Then let them know that.
Right. This is kind of turning into now, like, I'm trying to like make a non-game analogy for this. So like, let's say someone gets dropped into my body and my brain and they want to go rob my dad's house.
But they have your memories, so they have a garage code.
So instead of using the idea that like my dad would just let me in the front door, they instead go get all their friends to break in the windows. Like,
yeah, do a home invasion. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I understand now why it's weird.
Yep.
But I still like their version better. So good on everybody.
Yeah, sounds like it was great.
Yeah.
And if your players do something cool, let it ride. And that's a thing where like that DM just like couldn't let go of that little bit of their ego that they had to get the dig in at the end.
Get the little smug little last word. Yeah,
exactly. Couldn't just let it ride, let it go, and understand that they did a good job because the players did an awesome thing and they let them do it and they facilitated it and everybody had an awesome session. So
yeah, what they turned into had the vibes of like, Josey, do you remember my favorite phrase to say as a DM?
It's not, you can certainly try, is it?
It's close to
Greg's.
it. It's close to it. That's Greg's. That is absolutely Greg's favorite.
Yeah, I know it's Greg's because I bought him a shirt that says it.
Right. Mine is, I'm going to allow this bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this screams, I'm going to allow this bullshit. And like, okay, as smug as the DM was in the end, even allowing it and having it play out and turning it into that, bravo.
Yeah.
I'm not even mad.
Yeah. I'm sorry that this sullied an otherwise great experience for the OP, but I don't think Cosmic Thief, you should let it ruin what a good time you had battling alongside King Arthur.
Stewing on it years later, I think that's the biggest problem here. Like, just take you got the W, you got the win. Like, look back on it fondly and think of how much better you made that game.
And this is also your permission to just say, dude, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
You can push back that way. That's totally fun. Like, it's not like you're arguing about the rules with them or anything. Just, like, hey, man, next time, just keep your yap shut and let us enjoy it. And that's totally, that is totally the kind of, argument you should have with your friends on a regular basis, to tell them what you want so that you can all understand what's going on and you're on the same page about it.
Yeah. Be the designated American in that Japanese boardroom.
Or just come up with more bullshit and see who allows it.
I like the fact that somebody halfway down, it doesn't take like a dozen posts in this thread to get to somebody saying the highlight of Assassin's Creed 2 is bare knuckle boxing the Pope, which is absolutely true.
I would bare knuckle box the Pope in real life. I don't need it to be a video game. Don't tell my
I think it's
mom
all we
I
got
said
on this
that.
one. Yeah, right. That's all we got on this one. We're going to have stories like this every single Friday. Subscribe to the podcast, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.
All right.
Take it easy.
Thank you for listening to Curmudgeons and Dragons. Please share this with your favorite adventurers and leave a review. If you have a tale we should tell, please send it to us at curmudgeonsanddragons.com/contact for consideration. You are now out of initiative.